What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Fatty's Barbecue. I know it's been a long time since I've had a video. I've mostly been posting up on my Facebook and stuff like that, and I really haven't done an actual video for YouTube. So I was getting a lot of questions, and I was like, you know what, let me just make this quick video, see if I can help you guys out. But long story short, what I want to do is I want to go over how I set up the IVS. This is the large IVS, insulated vertical smoker. I want to show you guys how I set it up for briskets or for any cooks, okay? And again, hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully it explains it kind of in detail. For some of you, this might just be remedial and you already know it, but some of y'all are new to the IVS world, and I just kind of wanted to show you what I do and how I set it up. As you can see here, I'll let y'all see the smoker itself. It's already over 4 years old. If I'm 3 to 4 years old, I have to look at the exact date, but it's in pretty darn good condition. I keep it in my garage. You look here, I still got the stainless thing. I just gave it a quick wipe, you know, get some of the dust off, but for the most part, this is what it looks. You can see it's aged a little bit, but it's really not that bad. I haven't even hit it with a stainless steel cleaner or nothing like that. I just wipe it with my rag and that's it. So yeah, so you can see I've got it. It's just getting started right now for the next cook. I've got that brisket going on for Easter. Here's the side of it here. You can see I've got some little drip marks there. That's from like the rain and from some of the steam, I guess, that comes out through here, you know. This is the water pipe, water stack. This is my Fireboard fan. So the aging that I do have, as you can see, I've got some rust on here already from, you know, when my pit's out here and it rains and stuff. So I do need to put some oil on that and, you know, just make sure that that doesn't get bad. You know, it comes off, it still comes off and on easily. But you can see I got the Fireboard fan, and you got the cable, and it goes into my Fireboard. So this is my Fireboard. You can see right now inside, 97 degrees, just getting started. I'm going to show you the fire and all that stuff. I've got my direct power going through it. This is my Apple computer plug. I've got it going into an extension cable here. I got the extension cord that wraps around the stack, so that way it gives me a little bit of support. And then you see I got the extension cord, and it goes into my garage. So this is the back side of it. I don't know if y'all can see that a little bit. You know, actually looks pretty good. No major rust issues or anything going on. There's the top of it. If y'all can see this thing right here, this is my trusty old knee pad. And what I do with this knee pad is I usually cover, move this out the way, and I'll cover my electronics like that, you know, and I kind of let it come here. So if it does ever rain, it comes off to the side. And I got the other knee pad that I put on here. Also, it protects it from the sun, because when the sun just bears down, it'll really make this hot, and I don't really want that to happen. So yeah, so that's the Fireboard there. I wish Fireboard would make a longer connection or cable or some type of extension, so I could actually run this and just leave it over here, you know, either here, or I could buy the magnet thing, but you know, I'd like everything on this side over here if possible. Run all my cables over here and all that, but as it stands right now, everything's got to go right up in here. So what I do after I wash my little guys here, I just kind of hang them here so I know where they're at. I've got to wash my other ones still. So this is the water. Some of you have had questions about the water pipe or the water inlet. That's what this is right here, but I don't ever use it. I don't ever put water directly in here. I actually made this little foil thing here. This is just regular foil cap. And what I do is I use this to block the air from going in. Now I think Chris and them make another actual cover that goes in there. I need to get my hands on one of those so I look a little neater, a little more professional, right? But I don't want air to be drawn in here. And as you can see here, the water outlet, right? This is the water outlet here. I keep this closed. I don't want air coming through there. All I have is the Fireboard completely open. You can see I have it completely open. And the fan is what controls all the air. So let's take a quick look inside. Some of y'all were asking how the heat happens, how the airflow happens in here. Well, if you can see, right, this is my little probe that I've got coming from the top. I just let it kind of just hang down like that, you know. But on the sides, you can see that smoke coming up. Smoke coming up from the back. Smoke coming up from the sides, right? Nothing from the front. okay? And I got my water pans in here, 2 pans in here. I'm getting ready to cook. So I just fill them up with water about halfway. You can see it's about halfway with water. So the smoke and the heat actually come up from all 3 sides, okay? But I think it comes out more from here because that's where the snake actually starts, right? So the snake goes up, down, and up. So logic tells me that it's hotter over here, and so I'm gonna get this. But as it's closed, really, the temperature is just uniform. It's just uniform 225 degrees throughout the whole thing. And as you can see, you know, it's not the greatest condition. I mean, you can see I got all that patina on there. You know, I try to scrape the flaky stuff off the best that I can, you know. Clean up the grill, then I put the flame to it. I get my torch after I scrape it with my nylon brush. I don't use metal brushes, I use the nylon, which is this guy right here, right? It's really, really hard nylon, and I use that to clean the grill, and then I'll go over it with some wipes. You can see this is pretty dirty. I use this quite a bit. I'll use these wipes right here, and I'll wipe down the grill, right? That's what I use, is these little guys right here. Okay, I use that, and then when I'm done, when I'm lighting it with the torch, I'll go with the torch and I'll just blow it all out with the torch, and just burn as much as I can off. Okay, I like to have this as clean as I can for every single cook. And then as you cook, you'll see like this stuff here, you know, this is on there pretty good, but you'll get more flakes that you don't want to fall on your meat. So I'll just go over with my scraper. And my trusty scraper, I bought this was actually a little kitty litter scraper made out of metal, but I use this guy for all the dirty cleaning, and I'll just do real light like this, and whatever falls off, but I don't want it all to come off because I don't want it exposed and to create like rust or anything like that, you know. But like, see, I might have missed a spot like right here. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Just do this, and I just do like a little rub. I'm not pushing really hard, I'm just letting the weight of it do its thing. And you see how it comes off right here, and I just scrape it off, right? So that's pretty much how I get the pit ready. So 1, water, right? Water pans go in there. Those water pans, I know I'm rushing through this, guys, because I know you don't like tons of long videos, but the water pans help keep me from putting water on the actual tray itself. You see I got a little bit of water there. But it gets super messy when I used to start off and I'd fill this up to here by filling the water port. Then the water would come out. You can't really see it, but there's a hole. There's a little hole right there where the water pours out, and it'll fill this part with water. And when you do that, it actually gets really messy. Like that water boils, the grease falls in there. So at the end of the cook, when you're trying to use that ball valve that's on the side over there to open it, you have to make sure that the pit is tilted, you know, going this way, so that way the juice or the grease and all that goes out of that ball valve, and it doesn't get it all, so you have to use a scraper. You know, it's just really, really messy. So one of y'all, I don't know when, long time ago, told me, hey, try these out, and man, I've been using these ever since, and it works like a charm. You just fill them up. The water is for the moisture. You want to have some moisture in here, right? So for me, that's what gives me a good bark, that it keeps that moisture, because I do not wrap my briskets at all. I never wrap them. I just let them go. I sit them there, I put them fat side up, and I let them sit, right? And I'll put one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, and I rotate, I alternate where the point is. So I'll put the point back there, this one, the point's up here. That one, the point's over there, right? So I rotate where the point is, all fat side up, okay? And this moisture from these helps keep those from charring out and getting that just black charcoal-y crust on there. I don't want that. You don't want that. That's a gross taste, right? You want that mahogany color where it's like a candy. So you could get that if you wrap, but I don't like to wrap. So the other thing that you need to make sure, though, is you don't cook it too hot, right? So I do 225 degrees in here. 225. I don't do 300, 325. I know some people like to cook hot, but when you do that, well, then you boil the water. You do not want this water boiling, okay? If it boils, now you're gonna get steam, and steam is gonna kill your bark. It's just gonna, the bark's gonna just mush off. It's gonna be a terrible bark, okay? So 225, nice and low. Got flies flying in there, sorry about that. 225, nice and low, put that water in there, and that's the good setup, okay? So that's how I set up. This is for the cooking area, right? I clean it up, I wipe it down, I scrape it, all that good stuff. Got my one fireboard in there that's gonna tell me the temp. I want it to get to 225, right? And the 2 water pans, okay? That's pretty much it there. So I'm gonna close this up, and I'm gonna show you how I set up the fire next, okay? So let's close this guy up. So let's open up the fire, okay? Now I just started it, so it's not gonna be super hot, but we test it anyway, and we're gonna pull this sucker out. Yeah, there it goes, kind of heavy. So as you can see, I started the fire just here, right? It's not even burning anywhere over there yet, right? Just here, okay? So the way I set it up is I have a picture in there, but you can kind of see here on this side. See these big chunks of wood? Let me help you out. See that? So, big chunks of wood. If you can get oak, post oak, I like to cook with oak, okay? If not, this is gonna be a hickory cook, okay? So what I do, I don't like this to fall, I want it to be, there we go, right there. What I do is I put those chunks throughout, right? So I start here, I put a chunk, a chunk, a chunk, a chunk, all the way to the back. There's chunks in there. All the way through, I put those big size chunks first of wood, okay? The more wood I get, the better flavor I notice I'm getting. You can see there's a chunk right in there on the bottom. You see that guy? Just hiding behind that piece of charcoal right there, okay? So, chunks going first, nice and easily spaced out. Then I use Franklin's charcoal, right? It's post oak charcoal. That's this one here, okay? Franklin's post oak charcoal. I use this, so I put a little bit of that throughout. I go all the way around, about 50%. Then I use the B&B competition charcoal. That's this one here, post oak, okay? I start filling it in with that. So it's a 50-50 mixture all the way through that I do with this, okay? Let me fix that right there, okay? And I try to make sure that these stay up. I don't like it when they fall, okay? So you set your S pattern. Once you have that, then I go in the bag and I find these little scraps, just the little scraps like this, and I sprinkle them on top. So you can see, that's what you see there, the little scraps of wood, just to give me even more wood flavor, right? You see that? So that is how I set up my fire. Then I get my torch, okay? And I start the torch, and I start hitting right here, okay? I just do just this corner. I don't let the whole thing catch. I just do the corner. You can see it's on fire already. It's gonna be nice and slow. Takes about an hour to be up to temp, right? I literally just started this thing, okay? And the reason I like that, taking an hour, is because that gives me time to wash up, to change, go inside, start doing the brisket, start trimming the brisket, start seasoning the brisket. So by the time I'm done seasoning it and I'm ready to walk out here, this guy's gonna be at 225 already. So it's like the perfect timing. It takes me about an hour, okay? So again, that's where I start the fire, okay? Everything else is cleaned on the inside. Again, I do have these T plates, right? And I do it in the S pattern. Again, chunks of wood, big chunks of wood. Then the whatever you want to do, B&B first, or the Franklin's, whatever. Put that charcoal in, fill up the rest of the way with the other charcoal, and then sprinkle with the rest of the woods, like the bark and stuff like that. You see that wood? Just like that, right? Then start it up. Now let's put it back in. Push that back, right? Looking good. I'm gonna close it up. Okay, so now, like I said, it's going to take about an hour. So once I do that, once I have that lit up, that's when I come and make sure I have my Fireboard fan connected, okay? So I put it on here, right? You can see the little adapter. It's nice and tight. It's not gonna move. Everything's shut down. The air here is shut down. The air here is completely open. for this guy. That's our only air control, okay? I make sure that this is covered, right? Then I come over here, look at my fireboard, right? I make sure that up here, I don't know if you can see it, it says 9 volts. That means I have this guy connected. You gotta have power. If you don't have power, yes, the fan will still run, but it's gonna run at a slower rate. It won't go 100% because it needs to have external power, not just its battery power, okay? So this is external power that's on. You can see my other channels aren't on, 90 degrees inside right now, okay? This one goes to the top and down, and that's what you saw inside the pit. This is my channel 1 right here, okay? And then, of course, like I told you, I've got it plugged in. The fireboard is plugged into the direct power here. And then I wrap the cable around one time, so that way nobody trips on. If somebody does trip on it, it's not gonna knock anything down, right? So boom, comes down, goes into my garage, okay? And then for my pit itself, I have the wheels chalked, right? So I put a 2x4 or whatever that is right in front of it, and I got this other big chunk of wood in back of it that keeps it from rolling. And then this is dirty still because I just finished that other cook. I haven't cleaned this up yet, and this is the ramp that I use, okay? Because a lot of driveways, they are not level, okay? Driveways have like a natural slant, right? The water, so water comes away from the house. So what I do is I have this particular ramp. Like I said, I'm sorry it looks dirty, but it's all that scraps that I just took off from my last cook a little, like, a few hours ago, right? Now we're getting ready for another one here. But what I do is when I roll my thing out this way, the pit goes there, and then I roll it on top of this. So really my pit is tilted like this, right? The back side is going down, and I've got the front side up a little bit, right, on that wheel. And so what that does is it helps this be level. Otherwise, all the water would be on this side and no water on that side. So you like have hot spots over there. So if grease is falling on that side, if y'all can see, if grease from the brisket starts falling over there and all the water's over here and that grease is just on the aluminum, well, now you're gonna get a burning smell. You're gonna start getting that burning flavor. You do not want that, okay? That's why it has to be level. If you have a level surface already, if it's already leveled, awesome. You're good to go. You don't need the ramp, okay? But mine is not level, so I use that ramp that I got from Amazon, and I basically have it tilted just a little bit. That front wheel is up a little bit more, and as you can see, it's nice and level, right? Everything's nice and level right there. So hopefully that makes sense, okay? And then, of course, got that cool logo, right? Thank you, Chris and Lone Star Grillz for making such an awesome logo there for me. I never thought I could actually make something like that. I thought it was just gonna be digital, and look at that, it looks cool. This is where I do, let me clean this up. Usually, I keep my aluminum foil up here, right? And so when the briskets are done or they're ready to be wrapped, I get my foil, I lay it out right here. This is my work area, make my foil the way I need to. I go in here, I'll get my spatula will be here. I got a huge spatula, goes up here. My light will be up here. I tilt it down and I open the guy up. I get the brisket, lay it on here, wrap it up, right? Oops. I wrap it up, and then I put it inside the actual foil tray and I put it away. But this is the way my setup is, right? Got this here. All my cleaning stuff is down here on the bottom, right? I need to wipe that down again, but all my cleaning stuff is here, right? Everything else, I keep it up here. I try to keep that up there clean. My mitts, everything will go up there, okay? And again, I think for being over 3 years old, you know, this thing is looking really good. It's still in really good condition. The only thing I notice is just my tires get a little dirty from when I'm pulling out all that dust, when I'm cleaning this stuff out, or my kids are helping me clean it out. The dust will get to it and it makes the tires dirty. So, you know, like that movie Friday, them tins, but I keep them clean. Well, I really ain't keeping them clean. I gotta work better on that. I gotta do better, right? So guys, I hope this helps you out. I hope you kind of understand how the IVS works. You know, like I said, it goes to 225. This thing will be right here and it's just gonna stay there. And as you saw how far that wood was, like you saw my S pattern, that'll do at least 24 hours. Easy, at least 24 hours, and it'll stay at 225. if I finish all the way through, I don't know if you can see me open up again, right? You're like, no, quit opening it. Yeah. If I were, this right here will probably get me about 24 hours up to here. Finishing all the way through like this, I'm over 30 hours of cook time, right? So easy. And doesn't matter if it's one brisket or if it's freaking, excuse my language, one brisket or if it's 8 briskets that's in there. It's going to cook it, no problem, 225. And they're all gonna cook the same temperature. It's not like there's never any different hot spots in here. I never have to rotate the briskets due to hot spots. Never. It's always equal. The only time I'll just have some briskets that are done sooner than others, because as y'all know, heck man, all briskets are different, right? All briskets are different. Let me see if I can turn around and wipe my face and say what's up. All briskets are different. They all have a mind of their own, right? And some small ones I've had cook longer than the big ones, right? And some big ones obviously cook super long also. So whenever I'm cooking, I try to give myself at least an hour a pound, right? I'll try to give myself at least 18 hours of a cook. You know, they're usually about 18-pound briskets that I'm cooking. And so I try to give myself an hour per pound that I'm cooking for my scheduling. That's some of the hardest part for me, I guess, when I started doing this stuff, is learning how to predict when it's going to be done, you know, because some briskets I've had go 24 hours. I'm like, man, it was a 16-pound brisket and it went 24 hours, you know. Some briskets are done at 190 degrees and I'm like, what? And some of them are done at 208, but at 190 is when I start checking them. I start feeling to see if they're soft yet, if they're, you know, starting to feel like butter. Sometimes they're still a little tense, right? So you put it back in there, you just let it go. Just let it go. And then I go check it at 195. Okay, it's feeling better. If not, then I go to 200 and oh, there it is. So sometimes 203 is the magic number. I've had them go to 210 before and I'm like, they still feel a little tense, but they're all right. I'm gonna take it out, you know. I don't ever go more than that, you know, because then I start getting scared. I'm drying out the meat, right? But usually 190s when I first start checking it, and I go all the way. Sometimes it's done and I'll go all the way to about 200, you know, right around there, 205. That's when they're usually done and all that fat has rendered out and it's really good. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out. I appreciate all of your support that you've been giving me. I'm sorry I haven't given a video in a long time, you know, just super busy, right? But man, it's still a passion of mine. I'm going to put out more videos to you. I hope this one's at least okay to give you some knowledge of what I do, because I've been getting a lot of questions on how do I set it up. So I hope I've answered some of those. And those of you who are new to the IVS world, or if you just have questions, hit me up. Like I said, I've been using this thing a lot. Heavy usage for over 3 years already, and I love it. I still got the other beast, but that guy's tucked away in my garage right now. You know, I'm fixing to move. I'm going to be going to a new house. So at the new house, I'll show you my new kitchen setup that I'm going to have out there, outdoor kitchen, and we'll have the pits and all that set up out there, and I'll take some ideas from you on what I should do out there. Anyway, guys, hope you had a good one. Fatty's Barbecue. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much. Woo!